Welcome to Real Whispers. After Patrick and I have seen a film, we'll whip out our phones and we'll record a reaction. We don't discuss what we're going to say beforehand, so what you see is fresh and genuine. We also record a monthly film show, and this is our first episode. We're going to be predicting what we think will make the money at the box office this year, and we're also going to talk a little bit about why Patrick and I love discussing film. Finally, in light of the success of The Avengers and also the fact that Cabin in the Woods was released this year, we're going to be having a little chat about Joss Whedon.
So, let's talk about the future of cinema.
Okay. I think we're both in agreement that this year's more exciting than last year.
Yes.
Last year, only 3 films passed the $1 billion box office mark. That was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows.
Part 2.
Pirates of the Caribbean 4.
On Stranger Tides.
And Transformers 3.
Dark of the Moon.
So, this year, we've already got 1 film that's passed the $1 billion mark.
Is it just one?
Just one.
Oh yeah, it is, yeah.
Hunger Games made 600 million.
Right, okay. I thought it may have... Right, yeah.
The Avengers has hit...
it's been massive.
It's nearly $1.1 billion.
And it's broken all records there. Avengers has broken all records. It was the fastest selling weekend. And
Yeah.
worldwide, it's just made... probably... Do you think it'll make $1 billion in America?
In America, I think it's going to be quite tight. I'm not sure about that, but it'll be close to $2 billion worldwide.
That's mental.
I think, yeah.
That's amazing.
It's still the top thing at the box office. Battleship, it did better that weekend.
Battleship hasn't only just been released in America though?
Just
not
released
like,
in
so
America.
it's about a week, maybe 2 weeks old in America.
No, 2 days old in America.
Oh, fine. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it will do anything.
No, it's not in the same league at all.
No.
But what I found interesting about Hunger Games is that it has made 600 million. It's still going along a little bit by now, but it's not going to hit the 700 million mark. When Twilight Part 1 came out, it didn't quite make 400 million worldwide. That is really interesting. Think about what the Hunger Games 2 Catching Fire is going to make.
Hunger Games seems to have got a bit more of a mature response though.
It's a better made film.
It's a better made film. I think the theme is a little bit more... I don't know, it has a broader audience rather than a fidelity story and a boy and a girl. Well, and the Hunger Games has a lot more. It's more to get your teeth into for all ranges, not just teens.
Yeah.
And I think that's its success.
Good supporting cast.
And
Woody
Jennifer
Harrelson.
Lawrence is brilliant as well.
Yeah, she's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and a great actress as well. Sorry, that might.
But you've read the book as well. I'm reading it
yeah.
now. I think she embodies everything that Katniss is as well.
Yes.
And I think there's something there that, no matter if you're a boy or a girl, there is a role model there. It's fantastic.
It'll be interesting to know, because I actually read the book after I saw the film.
Me too.
So I've heard some people say that in the book that Katniss seems a bit more fragile. I didn't pick that up while I was reading the book, but maybe I'm just thinking Jennifer Lawrence when I read it. These things happen.
So do you think anything is going to beat the Avengers this year?
The only possible challenger is The Hobbit.
Oh, really? Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises only made $1 billion. Sorry, Dark Knight only made $1 billion.
But Dark Knight, this is the last one. And it's been told it's the last one. It's Nolan. He has success from 2008, Dark Knight, and Inception 2 years ago, which it didn't quite make $1 billion.
It made about 800 million.
But this is the finale, and it's Batman.
It is the finale. It is Batman. The Dark Knight had the added press, and the Dark Knight had its own merits, absolutely. But the passing away of Heath Ledger meant there was a lot of attention that the film otherwise might not have had. I think that gave it some momentum. Now, The Dark Knight is an incredible film, and Heath Ledger is incredible in The Dark Knight, but with all guns blazing, the fact that it was an outstanding film, that it had a great viral marketing campaign, plus the added news that the main character had passed away, and it still only made $1 billion. And The Avengers, which is not even halfway through its run, has already made more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And The Hobbit, it's just going to be huge, isn't it?
I think The Hobbit's the only real contender because it's made in 3D. Return of the King made round about $1 billion.
Yeah.
This is in 3D. 3D takes more money because the cinema ticket costs more. I don't think The Amazing Spider-Man is going to make $1 billion.
No, me neither. I don't think it's going to come anywhere near 500, to be quite honest. And what else is... I don't think Prometheus will do well. Now, I think Prometheus has a better viral campaign than The Dark Knight Rises, which at the time when The Dark Knight came out, their viral campaign was astonishing. It was gorgeous. It was really well done, cryptic clues for fanboys and everyone to follow. And it was that subtle. It was quite hidden. But Prometheus has high production value. Guy Pearce, Noomi Rapace, and Fassbender acting strongly in beautiful, really stunning virals.
The fact that it's tied to the Alien franchise as well, and it's the first time that Ridley Scott's touched a science fiction film in 20 years, it excites me. I'm someone who loves film. I don't think Prometheus has the crossover value to make, I think, 500 million tops.
I think it will be, I'm going to say now, I think it will be The Amazing Spider-Man. And I think that's mainly because I want it to, because it just looks amazing. But
I'm not sure it will. I think The Amazing Spider-Man has got more crossover value. I think it's a blockbuster. It's going to be a PG 13 tops. More people will be able to see it. More people like Spider-Man and familiar with it already.
I want Prometheus to do better.
Well, I think Prometheus will be a better film.
It has to be. I'll tell you what, then, here you go. I'm going to give my final prediction here as well. Actually, I think it'll be maybe top 3. I'm going to go out and say Ice Age Continental Drift. I think it's going to make loads of money.
Well, Pixar's The Brave will make loads of money.
But it's released at an odd time and it has a female lead, which is really going to isolate the male audience, especially boys. I don't think Pixar's going to do as well, especially on the back of Cars 2, which was a disappointment and didn't make much money. I think it was their lowest gross. I think Ice Age will take off and it will stay in the top 10 for a long period of time because it has that. It has pirates in it, it has Scrat, and they are... I don't know what they've done there, but it's just so bankable. Kids love it, and that will sustain. Top 3, top 4, I'm going to go for.
Okay. My final thought on this is I think the film that's going to come out of nowhere is Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The trailer looks astonishing, and I hadn't been prepared for it. It looks like it has production values of The Lord of the Rings.
Looks great.
It really looks astonishing.
It's got Chris
so
Hemsworth, Kristen Stewart. They are bankable actors right now, and they will bring
Hoskins.
in people. Yeah, Charlize Theron.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that, and I think that could surprise people in terms of box office return.
Cool, so that's our thoughts. We'd like to know yours. So you're going to tweet us your cinema predictions for, well, the future, but mainly 2012.
We've done a little bit of a feature for you, just to give us some background on Patrick and myself, so you know where we're coming from and why we love talking about film.
When I was a lot younger, all I ever really did was watch films. I used to bore my family to death with watching films, and through these Michael J. Fox's character in Back to the Future, Marty McFly, was my favourite, and he made me want to be an actor. I wanted to be him. That's what I always remember from that film, how cool he is. He's skateboarding, and he remains one of my favourite ever characters. And because of that, I just always watch films, and then started to mature a little bit with my film choices, wanting to watch darker films, more 18s, things like RoboCop. And I always wanted to be an actor. And from the actor, I think there's a director's medium there as well that is very personal, and I recognised that very early on. And there was only ever one choice from me then, and that was to go to university and do film. The course was mainly practically based, and in producing, I found something that I don't think I was aware of before, that I like to organise. I liked to be involved in every aspect of filmmaking, and producing took over my want to be an actor, my want to be directing a film, and I liked the organisation. I always loved watching films and recommending them. I get a lot of joy out of telling people that this film's great, go and see it, or have an opinion on a film I don't quite like and tell people not to see it as well, perhaps. And I do like doing that. I've written a few reviews for a culture magazine in Nottingham, and I just love recommending things, and particularly when people come back and say, thanks for the recommendation, that was great.
When I was young, I don't really think I realised how into film I was. My dad would often watch films late at night, foreign films such as Luc Besson's Subway. So he had had a real strength and enthusiasm for film, which has just sort of subliminally gone into my psyche and how I just approach films in general. So when I did my A-levels, I took a film studies A-level. I enjoyed it so much, I had aspirations of maybe being a film teacher, and I went to University of East Anglia in Norwich, and I did a film degree. I'm a bit of a Rockweiler when it comes to my opinions. If I dislike a film, I'll hate it and I'll tear into it and I'll analyse all the different reasons why I hate it, which I think some people really respond to. I hate Spider-Man, for example, but randomly, I love Avatar, and even though I don't necessarily think Avatar is the greatest film ever, because lots of people kind of didn't gel with Avatar, didn't get on with Avatar, I found myself sort of analysing every single nitpicky point of why Avatar was a better film than other films, how James Cameron was a director who really knew how to use his cinematography, how his cameras would kind of crawl along the sets, and the sets would be beautifully designed, and every actor, no matter how unimportant, got their moment to shine. That sort of thing I responded to. So okay, the plot might have been a bit naff. I picked up on how well the film was made. And in a way, it kind of irritates me how I can get so passionate enthusiasm about a film that overall is probably not that great, but it's the kind of person that I am. So that's why doing something like Real Whispers is great, because I get to talk to someone who's as enthusiastic about film as I am, and also someone who gets to challenge my opinions, gets me rethinking about films in ways that I hadn't thought of before. It's a great experience, something I really enjoy doing, and I hope by doing something like this that we can do a similar thing for you.
Right, we're going to talk about Joss Whedon. I brought you a gift. This is our first on-screen gift.
Okay.
It is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer magazine from October '99, first edition.
How on earth do you have this?
Just had it from years ago. I thought it was a good reference point to the talk.
Okay, I shall be checking this out later. Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
I had real problems with it. I actually go as far to think that it's a failure. Now, I know you like Cabin in the Woods.
No, hold on.
Okay.
No, I think what's important is, I didn't believe that you had this reaction when you first came out, and neither did I. When I came out, I felt a bit disappointed.
Yes.
Which I think my reaction showed, and I wanted a lot more, and I thought it was a bit predictable. But I've had a lot of time to think about it and kind of analyse it a bit more, and I liked it a lot more in hindsight.
So,
and it worked a lot more.
When you say that, sorry, elaborate. What did you like about it? Because when we watched it and we were disappointed, my disappointment initially came from the fact that at the end it kind of felt like they were making things up as they were going along. I don't want to give away too much that's going to be a spoiler, but the plot seemed to go much, much quicker. There was a heavy use of computer graphics. It's a low-budget film. The computer graphics looked bad. And
not all of them.
I would go as far as to say all of them, but...
No, not all of them. No,
okay.
Not at all. Towards the end, I thought it was an accelerated rate, but I think there's a little bit of the Joss Whedon problem there, where he had to do his writing where the plot was fine, it was going along at a steady pace, and then he has to cram it all in at the end. I do agree with that. That happened with Firefly, the TV series. It happened with Dollhouse as well. And I think at the end there was a bit of cramming, but it was really loads of fun. It is really amazing to look at. It did slow down at the end, and a bit of exposition, which was... It felt like it just cut the film dead, yes. But I look back on the film and I really enjoyed it, particularly when I'd say the beginning of the final third. I thought it was amazing. I didn't mind the CGI. It doesn't all look fake. It doesn't all look bad, and it is really, really fun.
Okay, but the reason why I think it's a failure is that this film has made about 57 million at the blockbuster, and it was a budget of 30 million, so it's doubled its costs. Now, one of the reasons that Joss Whedon has stated that he went to write and produce this film was because he was tired of torture porn horror films. He wanted to make a film that criticised them, but also kind of should show other filmmakers how it's done. Another director who did this was Wes Craven with Scream. Mm-hmm. Wes Craven was bored of misogynistic, very violent horror films, so he was given a script that he liked, and he made Scream, which is same kind of meta-narrative, same characters are aware of sort of the horror genre, loads and loads of references to past horror films, but it made nearly 200 million, and it got other horror films looking at that, I Know What You Did Last Summer, thinking, wow, this is how a horror film should be made, and it kind of took up the lessons from Scream. I don't think other filmmakers are going to be looking at Cabin in the Woods thinking, wow, this is brilliant. In fact, I think the films that it was trying to criticise, Saw, Final Destination horror, are better, more enjoyable than Cabin in the Woods.
But I don't know how much of a criticism it was, more of a commentary on how tired the American horror genre is, because it is boring. We haven't had anything like this since, I'd say, Drag Me to Hell, the Sam Raimi film.
What year was Drag Me to Hell?
That was about 2009, I think, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, around that time, and that was quite good fun as well. And that was actually when Cabin in the Woods was made, but it was held back. And it hasn't done well, so in that respect, I have to agree with you, and it was a bit of a failure. However, I do think it was a smart film that had its social commentary on voyeurism, on the celebrity, on television shows that are reality television shows, but it was very smartly done. It had its commentary there, and you have to look for that, because it's subtle references to it throughout, but it very much knew its place. And once you got over the plot details, it was full of details in it about where does fog come from in American horror films? Why do girls get their boobs out in horror films, particularly the blonde girl? Why is the guy a jock? Why is there a smart girl who when she takes her glasses off is pretty? And it was very much, it knew its place there. And for me, in that kind of creation, it was a bit of a success because it's well written, it's well directed, and it was a lot of fun.
I think that this film is going to be forgotten about, whereas The Avengers, a lot of people are going to be looking at it and thinking, wow, this is how...
it's more of a spectacle piece, though.
True, but it's also the character interactions. It's how much he can develop characters with such limited screen time because there's so many characters. I think we're going to see things along the line of maybe a Justice League film, maybe not that ambitious, maybe we're just going to see a Superman versus Batman in the next sort of DC incarnation.
But then we're all forgetting it was directed by Drew Goddard, who worked with Whedon on Buffy and Angel as well. It was... So Whedon had writing, but he had Drew Goddard as well. It does feel like there's some studio intervention there, but Avengers is a solely new piece and a new spectacle, whereas Cabin in the Woods it wanted to say something about the American horror genre, and I think it said it well.
I'm going to go back and say I think that this has been done before with Scream. I think Scream did a better job, and I'm not sure the Avengers did have new material. I think it was, Thor, Iron Man, but we shall see, I suppose. Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting to see how people develop.
What I will say though is if you like Buffy, Angel, Dollhouse, Firefly, Whedon, you will really like this. I know a lot of people who are fans of that, and it is maybe a bit of a fanboy film for that genre, and I found it a lot of fun, particularly towards the end.
I didn't.
So there you go. Thanks for watching our first episode. If you enjoyed our show, then you can follow us on Twitter, that's @RealWhispers. Tweet us your reviews and we'll retweet them. You can like our Facebook page, that's real.whispers, and we have a YouTube channel, so please subscribe. And keep your eyes open for our Prometheus review, which will be released on June the 1st.